Neal Brown said he had not one, not two, not three, but 4 NFL receivers in his receiving room. Is he crazy or is there something to it? Let's talk about who they are and what he meant on this episode of Locked On West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome in. It's Friday. We're 24 hours away from one of the biggest games of the weekend. Can't be more excited. Actually, less than 24 hours. 24 hours from now after recording this video, and the game will probably be close to over. So we'll probably have an answer this time tomorrow as to what happened. Thank you for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Okay, so Neal Brown said a lot yesterday and today, handing out beers on the McAfee show. But he brought up something that really piqued my interest yesterday, and a lot of people wrote about it. And I thought, well, I'll do an episode on it because I think I have an idea who they might be, and most people may as well. And maybe you have somebody else in the room. There's talent in the room. The Penn State people think there's not talent in this room, and I don't think every one of these guys are NFL ready today. But I think he meant throughout the course of their career, there's going to be 4 NFL guys come out of the room that's there now. So it's not like all these guys are NFL ready today, in my opinion. And so I'm going to tell you the 4 guys that I think he was talking about. So let's talk about number 1. Tayin Ray is a name that Penn State people probably don't know much about because he didn't break out until towards the end of the year. And if you watch the North Carolina game, he's the guy that went deep first play of the game, 70-something yards, whatever it was, really became a real deep threat, somebody that could stretch the field vertically for West Virginia towards the end of the year. And he had a pretty good freshman season. He had 18 catches for 321 yards and 3 touchdowns and averaged over 17 yards a catch. And when you look at the games he performed in November, he really started showing out in November. I think this is going to be, in my opinion, I think he'll probably be the number 2 receiver this year. You could make a case for Hudson Clement or Jaden Bray at number 1, but Ray, it wouldn't surprise me if he ascended to the number 1 spot. He was only a redshirt freshman last year and really showed the ability to stretch the field and get open deep, which is why he's such a good target for Garrett Green. And if he can continue that 17 yards per catch angle up, that's going to be really good. Number 2, Hudson Clement, Huddy Tuddy as we like to call him. I think he's got an NFL future. We all know about had he not been injured, unfortunately. So he burst onto the scene last year, 22 catches for almost 500 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, and he averaged 21 yards a catch, and he was hurt most of the year. So in his case, who knows what those numbers would have looked like had he not missed so many games. But he missed several games. I haven't actually looked and seen exactly how many, but I want to say it was at least 5 or 6. And he was also a freshman last year. So a lot of youth in the room, and these are good numbers for freshmen. I don't think that they weren't freshman All-American level. You need to get to that 40, 50 catch mark, in my opinion, to get those type of honors. And I think Hudson Clement would have made it there. Excited about what he's going to bring to the offense this year. Everybody has said he's been the most consistent receiver in camp this year. That's Neal Brown. That's Chad Scott. That's Garrett Green. That's everybody. He has really been talked up this offseason, and I'm excited to think what he could become. Jaden Bray. If you wanted to build a wide receiver in a lab, he probably looks like Jaden Bray. I mean, look at this dude. This guy is really a physical specimen. And he has made some serious catches in camp. Really, really, really gifted player. Coming off of – he was Oklahoma State's second leading receiver last year. He's also still pretty young. I think he's a junior. He's got a year left here at West Virginia. And, to be honest, he has the most upside, right? As you can see here, he had 30 catches for 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. So there's another guy that was productive. in a role last year for Oklahoma State. And look at their quarterback. It's not somebody that most people are proud to call theirs. Bowman's good, but he's not elite, so he's a pocket guy and he's a timing guy. So I think, Bray's really going to show out with a guy like Garrett that can get it downfield this year. He's who I'm most excited about outside of the next guy, of course. The next guy is, if you guys were around, I played the video of this kid, his high school tape. It's legendary. And we're talking about Day Farmer, who is going to play. Neal Brown has said multiple times in the last couple of weeks that he's going to play in this game. And what's that going to look like? What's his role going to look like? Think Rodney Gallagher from last year. He's going to be somebody that they get on the edge, maybe uses a decoy. Penn State knows exactly who he is. They're going to know that he's going to want to get him involved. They know he's a big play threat, really shifty. And so they'll probably use him in motion some, see if they can get Penn State to maybe miss a line so that they can run the ball. But I do expect him to get the ball as well. His route running is interesting because when I studied his tape, he looked to have the ability to be an elite route runner, but what I've been told and others have said is that it's all moving so fast for him right now as a true freshman that he wants to make too many moves because he's such a good athlete. This is a high-end 4-star player. Out of Florida, we flipped from UCF. And to be honest, he has the most upside of anybody on this receiver room. When I said that about Jaden Bray, I just meant for this year. Overall, for the foreseeable future, he has Luther Burden type ability. I don't know if he'll get there, but that's the kind of player he's molded after, or even a Tavon Austin if you want to go there. But he's nowhere. I'm not saying he's anywhere near that. I'm just saying that type of player, that shifty, juking around type kind of player. That's what he does. He's really good at it. And then I'm going to throw this one in for a caveat, even though he's not technically a wide receiver. We talk Cole Taylor. The most, he doesn't get any talk, really. And it surprises me because he's 6'7", 250 pounds, caught 40 balls on 4 touchdowns last year, close to. And I think he's going to play a huge role in this year's team. Second year in this offense with Garrett Green, traveling around with him, really getting the chemistry. So I think he's the other piece that nobody's talking about. And listen, if I wanted to throw an honorable mention in there, I will not count Preston Fox out. I don't know if he'll, athletically, I wonder what he would do in the league because he's not blowing your doors off. He's got the best hands on the team, Preston Fox does. And he makes tough, difficult contested catches, and he's going to play 30 or 40 snaps tomorrow. So expect to see something from him. He could steal the show tomorrow, actually. He really could. He was really look good at camp at times. We have a lot of really good receivers, and we need somebody to break out and be elite. Who's it going to be? I'm excited to find out. What's next on Locked On West Virginia? We're going to talk about the Big 12 results from Saturday, and we might as well talk about Colorado since everybody else did. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by Factor Meals. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. You can crush your wellness goals with this and maintain dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blanket salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum because Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. There's no shopping, there's no prepping, there's no cooking or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, and avoid meat or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 and use LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code LockedOnCollege50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Okay, guys, and so the Big 12 obviously had a day yesterday going undefeated almost. Wasn't to be, was it? With Colorado kind of getting a scare from North Dakota State. And that's the game we're going to talk about first. So obviously, in my opinion, Colorado is not a good football team on defense. On offense, I think they can compete with anybody in the league. They really remind me of those throwback 2012, like if you want to go back to even the Baylor-West Virginia game, the inaugural game for West Virginia, the Big 12, 70-63 type thing. Like they have one of those type of offenses. Like Shedeur Sanders continues to impress me at throwing the football. He's not only the best in the Big 12 at that, he's the best in the country, in my opinion. Irregardless of competition, the way the ball explodes out of his hands, the way he's able to throw from different arm angles, and the way he just puts that thing on the money. And yes, he is tough. He does show some toughness. He did take some big hits from a really gamed North Dakota State program that had its offensive coordinator back for both their national championships in 15 and 16. So I think this was a big game for the Bison. They really wanted to prove they're still that giant killer of a program. And Cam Miller is an FBS quarterback. You know, if he wanted to transfer into another school and pretty much anywhere he wanted, he could do that. Braylon Henderson at receiver for them was really impressive for me too, obviously. And then you had Cam Miller on the ground really doing it all. And he is not an elite athlete by any measure. But, man, he's shifty in there. And he really gave Colorado some problems. I was interested to see what their defensive line was going to look like because Warren Sapp is coaching those guys, and you can just tell he doesn't have the guys to work with. Colorado looked a little undersized up front. They looked a little bit weak up front. North Dakota State are some dudes. I mean, they really have as far as X's and O's, they have an elite running game. So, you know, it's a tough thing to stop. So at the end of the day, Colorado can win games, I think, in the conference, but their defense is going to struggle this year, no matter who they play in the conference. Every team in the conference has almost every team in the conference has a formidable offense, in my opinion. So, I mean, there's at least 8 teams that could have a top 60, 70 offenses, you know. So I think they're going to struggle. So it's going to be interesting to continue to watch Colorado. I'm not one of those people that continuously root against them because of the Deion hate, but I do understand it, and I understand why people don't like them. I just fall in the middle on it. I don't, because there's kids involved, and I just don't like the idea of rooting for these kids that put in a lot of work to lose because you don't like Deion. So that's kind of where I fall on it. And there are coaches. I love Warren Sapp. I would love to see him maybe get a head coaching role someday. I think he's a great leader. So, so that's my opinion on him as well. Other scores of the Big 12 that were kind of piqued my interest. We'll go next to let's go to Utah. I was interested to see what they would look like since they've got like 7th-year guys in the lineup and the like. And in my opinion, the 3 biggest stars of the night easily were Cam Rising. Dijon Stanley was really, really impressive. And then obviously Kuthi at tight end, who is more of a slot receiver than a tight end, really. But impressed by those guys. I think, Rising has a funny delivery when he throws the ball. And I was not expecting – I don't know why. I seem to remember him throwing it. I don't want to say better because those passes are right on the money, but it's not pretty, right? It's sort of like a Phillip Rivers, not that bad, but it's kind of like a Phillip Rivers type delivery. The other thing I'll say is he had a noticeable, I don't know if it's a limp or if he favors it or if he just lost a step, but he's obviously not the runner that he was. He's still mobile enough, but they're going to have to rely on his arm a lot this year. And, he looked good yesterday. I want to see what they look like going forward. Obviously, no test in Southern Utah at all. The Fighting Spencer McLaughlin's over at Locked On College Football. It's incredible that he's the voice over there. Cam Rising, 10 of 15, 254 yards, 5 touchdowns. Just a pretty easy day at the office for them. Their schedule gets tougher here, as they go to Oklahoma State. Couple games like that, but it doesn't get much tougher, that's for sure. Third on the list of Big 12 games is UCF and New Hampshire. I think, the KJ Jefferson experiment, what's that going to look like, with an elite running game that Malzahn is able to put out every week. And if you wanted to say, okay, I want to remake Cam Newton in a lab, what's that look like? KJ Jefferson would probably walk out, right? He looks a lot like Cam. Not the passer that Cam was, or, maybe still is. But he's not really the runner either. They do look the same body type. KJ Jefferson is a decent passer, excellent runner. He's not going to burn you with speed, but he will bulldoze you. He's very similar to DJ Uiagalelei. And so that's the kind of way they're going to do the thing. So RJ Harvey, obviously unstoppable when he wants to be. He had 11 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kobe Hudson out wide did really a good job as well. The Knights look to really surprise some people this year, and don't be surprised if they do. I think they're going to win 8 games. That's my opinion on them. I think they've got you talk about Ja'Cory Brown or Johnny Richardson. I think they go deep running back, and then at receiver with Montgomery and Hudson, look out. So I think the Knights are pretty good, and we're going to see more about them obviously as the schedule comes for them as well. But a dominant victory by the UCF Knights, and looking forward to seeing more of what they do this year. Last but not least, you got Kansas, the Jayhawks. They faced the mighty Lindenwood Lions, who I didn't even know was in, FCS or FBS or anything. Like, I don't think I've heard of them very much. So that was a unique, it seems like every year there are new teams that enter into the Division I space that I just like, I've never heard this team before. Jalen Daniels, an efficient 9 of 15, 148 yards. Did throw an interception in this game. Probably not his sharpest performance. Didn't have to be. The defense was dominant in this game. It really was. Their defense looks good this year. And I know you can't measure anything against Lindenwood. I mean, they've got size, they've got length, and they've been building that for a few years now. It blows me away the last 2 years, really, especially, to think about the job they've done over there and just what that looks like, because Kansas, as we all know, was dead in the water, right? It was never going to be a program that anybody respected. And then Kolnicki and Leopold walk in and change everything in life for them. So that guy's on the Penn State sideline. One of them is now. So it's going to be interesting to see what they look like apart and what that looks like as Kansas goes through the schedule with a new offensive coordinator. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, West Virginia added 2 big men to the lineup, guys. I know we should have made its own video. We're going to talk about the 2 bigs that West Virginia added, and should we be excited about that? This episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, rook staffs, exhaust kits, the LED headlights, and more. And whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find what you're looking for, and eBay will guarantee fit. Your part is guaranteed. That's right, guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're a rubber burner and not a cash burner. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions do apply. eBay Motors fit, only available to U.S. customers. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Tired after lunch? You're not alone. In fact, research shows that more than 70% of us hit the wall after lunch. So let a 5 Hour Energy shot help you leap over that instead of crashing into it. With zero sugar, convenient portable size, it's a perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. The 5 Hour Energy website has flavors galore, like watermelon, tropical burst, grape, berry, and more. There's a flavor for everyone, so you should try them all. We even have the option to build your own 12 or 24 pack. You choose the flavors, and it's delivered right to your door. So if you go to 5hourenergy.com, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, and get some 5 Hour Energy products today. You can use my promo code Locked On College Football to receive a 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order only and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. The West Virginia men's basketball team has added 2 more big men to the lineup, which is going to be extremely useful, especially during practice. Things I've been told are Andre and especially Hansberry, they need somebody to play against during practice, instead of each other. And also, they don't need to be taking every single rep down there, right? So it's a combination of a few things. And these guys are both pretty much projects, I think. These guys need a little bit of tender loving care, if you will. Let's read a couple articles on the subject so that we can get to know these guys a bit better. We're going to start out with WVSports.com. Keenan Cummings wrote this. West Virginia adds commitment from forward/center Abraham Oyedie. I'm assuming is how you say it or something close. He's a big kid. I was told it's in a similar build as like a Shibwe. The West Virginia basketball program has added a late commitment from a big in Abraham Oyedie, or however you say it. Oh, yeah. 6'9", 210 pounds is an athletic big man that does his work on the defensive end and has shown the ability to score the basketball at the rim, although still developing in that area. He averaged 10.7 points, 11.3 rebounds, and 1.6 blocks last season. That's pretty impressive from just a sheer numbers perspective and rebounds. It would be really cool if he could bring that to us. If we could just have a guy that just rebounded, that would be terrific. An active shot blocker and rebounder, is what I'm going to call him, feels the need of what the Mountaineers were looking for to leading up to the season as a big body in the front court. Attended AOSS Prep in California after starting his career at Balboa School and will step into a depth role at the jump when he arrives in Morgantown. He's a native of Ghana. Nelson Hernandez was the primary contact for to close out his addition. The addition becomes the 11th offseason addition for the Mountaineers this offseason, and he brings the total number of scholarship players to a dozen ahead of the 24-25 season. Joins Fresno State transfer Eduardo Andre and Illinois transfer Monty Hansberry as potential options for West Virginia in the front court this coming campaign. WVSports.com will have more on in the future. And staying right here on WestVirginiaSports.com at Rivals, this is from Vernon Bailey. WVU announces the signing of transfer forward Harris Elizevich. West Virginia head coach Darren DeVries has officially announced the signing of Harris Elizevich, a 6'8", 240-pound senior from Sherbrooke, Quebec. We are excited to welcome Harris to our basketball program, DeVries said. Harris will bring great versatility and another veteran presence to our front court. We are looking forward to integrating Harris to our team and West Virginia University. Elizevich comes to WVU after a standout season at Laval University in Quebec, where he started at 29 of 31 games, averaging 12.2, 10.3, shooting 44% from the field. Notably, he posted a career's 26 high points against UQuam and played a key role in the Laval Sports National Championship run. So that's pretty cool. Prior to Laval, Elizevich spent the 22-23 season at McGill University, averaging 13.9, 9.9 rebounds per game, shooting 47%. He recorded highs of 28 points and 22 rebounds and achieved 12 double-doubles during that season. In summer games, Elizevich had an impressive outing with 17 points and 11 rebounds against Florida State. That's pretty cool. Additionally, he had 12 points and 11 rebounds against Vermont and 15 points and 13 rebounds against Oregon. There might be more to this than I realized. During his time at McGill in 21-22, he averaged 8.4 and 7-point rebounds per game with season highs of 22 points and 18 rebounds. Over his career, he scored 906 points, 11.8 rebounds, and 727 rebounds. Points per game and 727 rebounds across 77 games, shooting 44.8% from the field and 68.9% from the free throw line. He also added 129 assists and 62 steals. He's been named to the rookie team in 21-22, Ken Shields nominee, first team All-Star in 23-24, second team in 21-22 and 22-23, and he attended Veneer College during high school. So a lot of movement for these guys, especially the second guy, Harris. What an interesting ad. I'll be honest, I haven't watched any tape of these guys yet. I had heard about them and was told that they were both pretty much projects and kind of left it at that. But it seems like I need to look into them a little bit more, especially that second guy. But I thought, you know what, it's definitely worth mentioning because you just never know. And then like Cuts and Clement, you never want to count people out, right? So I'll come and do a proper podcast episode or show on – I'll come and do a proper show on both these guys at a later date after I've had more time to really look at the film. With everything with football going on, guys, it's just tough sometimes to really figure out what's going on. So thank you guys for joining this episode of Locked On West Virginia. The West Virginia Mountaineers and Penn State Nittany Lions will be done and over with this time tomorrow, and I'm excited to see how that ends. Keep coming back, guys. And don't forget, I would really suggest watching Locked On College Football. Spencer does an incredible job over there. If you want to be an everydayer for every team, Spencer McLaughlin's your guy, guys. So head over to Locked On College Football right now as soon as you get off of here and see what he's posted most recently. And keep tuned into Locked On West Virginia as we continue to grow with your help. Thank you, guys, and have a great, great game day.